In this video, we are going to talk about shocking plane crashes caught on camera. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. The world witnessed these aircraft collisions. People were deeply affected by the plane tragedies involving Aerosiker Flight 4544, China Airlines Flight 642, and Red Wing Airlines Flight 9268. Here's a list of the top 10 shocking plane crashes caught on camera. Let's start. Number 10. Aerosiker Flight 4544. Aerosiker Flight 4544 was performing a regular freight delivery within Colombia on December 20, 2016. The fateful Boeing 727 struggled to take off, traveling the whole runway before crashing into a tree, shed, and fence before finally taking off, by which time the damage had already been done. There had been enough equipment damage that the aircraft could hardly fly or return for an emergency landing. Soon after, it crashed, ultimately killing 5 of the 6 crew members. The initial failure to lift off may have been caused by too much weight, but the weight and balance manifests were never discovered, therefore the precise cause is still unknown. Number 9. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961. This 1996 disaster was the deadliest hijacking of a single aircraft in history prior to 9/11. 3 Ethiopian males attacked the cockpit of the Boeing 767 while it was traveling from Ethiopia to Kenya while carrying an axe, a fire extinguisher, and a bottle of wine that they claimed was a bomb. They instructed the pilots to fly to Australia in search of asylum, even though the plane lacked adequate fuel for the journey. Eventually, the aircraft ran out of fuel near the Comoro Islands, crashed into the water, and 125 of the 175 people on board perished. It's interesting to note that we only have this video because a visitor began filming it under the impression that it was a part of an air display. Number 8. First-person perspective plane crash, inside cockpit. After watching this video, it is clear why some individuals find flying in small aircraft to be terrifying. This jet appears to suffer takeoff problems and runs out of runway before ultimately taking off, much like our number 10 entry, albeit on a much smaller scale. It was difficult for them to rise because, as stated in the video's description, there was an increase in density altitude, brought on by rising temperatures. They attempted to fly over a forest after gaining some altitude, but the plane dipped back towards the ground and crashed heavily, bouncing through trees after hitting a tall tree. Amazingly, no one was hurt, albeit the pilot was. Number 7. China Airlines Flight 642. This broad-bodied MD-11 was flying a normal flight from Thailand to Taiwan in August 1999, stopping in Hong Kong along the way. Typhoon Sam, however, which was nearby on this particular day, brought about severe weather. Prior to trip 642, several flights encountered difficulties in their approach and landing, but despite having loaded enough fuel for a direct flight to Taiwan, they chose to complete the layover in Hong Kong. Rain and strong winds made for an uneven landing, which caused the right side to hit first, snapping off the right wing and tumbling the plane onto its back. 3 of the 315 passengers on board died when the fuel caught fire. The extreme shock of the spectators is clearly seen in this video. Number 6. Asiana Airlines Flight 214. 2013 saw the arrival of Asiana Flight 214, a Boeing 777, from South Korea for its scheduled landing at San Francisco International Airport. Sadly, because it didn't have enough speed or height as it approached the runway, its landing gear collided with a seawall before reaching the runway. The plane rotated in the air, as this tower video demonstrates. Out of the 307 passengers, only 3 died, while another 187 suffered injuries. The subsequent investigation determined that the most likely causes were pilot error and an over-reliance on automated systems. This was the first Boeing 777 crash that left a victim dead. Number 5. Red Wings Airlines Flight 9268. We would not have video of the following collision if most Russian drivers didn't have dash cameras. Red Wings Mission 9268 was doing a repositioning flight at the Moscow International Airport in late December 2012. The plane slipped off the runway too quickly due to the icy weather and strong winds, falling into a ravine at 118 miles per hour and shattering into fragments that rained down on the nearby M3 highway. The damage is seen in this camera footage. There were no passengers because it was only a repositioning trip, but 5 of the 8 crew members perished as a result. Number 4. Makani Kai Air Single-Engine Cessna Failure. This Makani Kai Air Cessna Caravan sustained an engine failure in December 2013 as it was flying back to Honolulu from Hawaii's Molokai Island. 8 people were on board, and Ferdinand Puentes, the pilot, was inside the aircraft photographing the entire incident using a GoPro. The plane's hard water landing is captured on video. The passengers meticulously gathered their possessions, took on their life jackets, and fled the plane into the ocean while clinging on to the aircraft while they waited for assistance as the water began to infiltrate. While the most of the passengers made it out alive, Loretta Fuddy, the director of the State Department of Health for Hawaii, passed away from heart failure. It was later discovered that she was carrying a defective infant life jacket. Number 3. Transasia Airways Flight 235. This ATR 72-600 was flying from Taiwan's Taipei to the adjacent island of Kinmen. Engine 2 was said to have flamed out after takeoff, which is an engine failure brought on by the extinction of flame in the combustion chamber. However, the crew accidentally turned off Engine 1, which caused the plane to lose altitude. It banked during its descent and its left wing made impact with a cab and the Wandong Viaduct before crashing into the ocean and disintegrating. Dash cam footage of the crash on the Wandong shows it to be a dramatic event. Tragically, only 15 persons survived this collision out of the 53 passengers and 5 crew members. Number 2. National Airlines Flight 102. This 747 faced formidable challenges as it traveled from Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan to Dubai for a fuel break. It was customary for aircraft to take off at a more acute angle in order to avoid enemy fire due to the combat in the area. Unfortunately, it appears from investigations that this might have resulted in a shift in the cargo, overloading the plane's tail and causing it to stall. The 747 can be seen falling to the earth and exploding in a terrifying ball of flames and gas that resembles something out of an action movie in dash cam camera footage. Sadly, the 7 American crew members who perished in the 2013 incident were all real. Number 1. September 11th attacks. There has never been a plane disaster more shocking than this one. Al-Qaeda agents hijacked 4 planes on September 11, 2001. And they were able to crash 3 of them into the Pentagon and the World Trade Center buildings. There isn't much video of the first jet hitting the North Tower, but there is a ton of video of the South Tower getting hit. Even though it is of lower quality, security footage of the attack on the Pentagon exists. The globe has repeatedly watched this collection of images, experiencing the horror in astonishment and bewilderment. The 9/11 terrorist attacks claimed more lives, 2,996, and injured over 6,000 more people than all of our other entries combined. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.